Yeah, Mr. Par, Tarasata Shishmadi Divine Grace C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Bharaj, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Srimad Bhagavatam Gantaraj Ki. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to Sri Sri Guru and Go Ranga. Go Brahman. Hari Hari. So before we begin the Srimad Bhagavatam class, I would cordially like to welcome Sriman Bhakta Das and Bhakti Mataji all the way from somewhere in Werribee area, Geelong, Victoria. Down the bottom there, they're the National Public Relations Officers for the Australasian Yatra. So they're with us for a few days. They're very, very cordial people. They won't mind if you come up and introduce yourself and say hello to them, and you'll be better off for it. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are continuing on with the Srimad Bhagavatam, very scientific chapter in Canto 3, Chapter 11, Text 7, chapters entitled Calculation of Time from the Atom. It is also the auspicious appearance day of Radha Kund. So we will be talking about that a little bit later on, but there is something very, very interesting. I actually just glanced at the board this morning and found out that I was giving class, but I did do some research and I come across something that's really mind-blowing. If I can sort of translate it to the devotees, it will be very interesting, from one of the great devotees that was in our movement there, Sriman Bhakti Charu Maharaj, very intelligent person. So we will begin with text number 7. Nimeshastri lavogya Amnataste trayachana Janan pancha vitukastam Laguta dasa panchacha Nimeshastri lavogya Amnataste triyachana Janan pancha vidukastam Laguta dasa panchacha. Nimesha, the duration of time called the Nimesha. Tri lava, the duration of 3 lovers. Gaya is to be known. Amnata, it is so called. Te, they. Traya, 3. Khyana, duration of time called a khyana. Shyanam, such shyanas. Pancha, 5. Vidu, one should understand. Kastam, duration of time called the kasta. Lagu, duration of a time called the lagu. Ta, those. Dasha Pancha, 15. Cha, also. Translation: the duration of time of 3 lovers is equal to 1 nimesha. The combination of 3 nimeshas make 1 jhana. 5 chanas combined together make 1 kashta, and 15 kastas make 1 lagu. You all got that? So, quick purport by Srila Prabhupada here says that by calculation it is found that 1 lagu is equal to 2 minutes. The atomic calculation of time in terms of Vedic wisdom may be converted into present time with this understanding. So there's 2 things I want to mention in this brief purport before I move on to the other purport here, is that Prabhupada is saying that now we can equate Vedic cosmological time with our time, that we have some relationship which begins with the lagu. But as we go back, if we go backwards, what is a lagu? Well, that's 15 kastas, and 5 chanas make 1 kasta, and 3 nimeshanas make 1 chana. And then going back into Friday's lecture, we get to lava. We were talking about the lava where Prabhupada did mention in one of the slokas that we all know really so well, lava matra sarva siddhi hoy, that just one fraction of a second's association with the spiritual master is enough to actually turn us into great spiritual, to spiritualize us, how shall we put it? Moment's association with the spiritual master. Further on, it actually defines, but I'm stealing somebody's thunder here, down the road it's got a definition of how long everything is, that 1 lava is 8/45 of a second. That's further down the line. And then we keep going back though, we go to lavas, and then we have the Trutis. 100 Trutis make 1 Veda, 3 Vedas make 1 lava. So the point I'm making here is we're getting very, very, very finer. We're talking about milliseconds here. And then we have the Tras Serenus. Now that is the basic fundamental measurement of time. And where do they get that from? Just like it says in the chapter here, calculation of time from the atom. So they work out how many atoms put together move in a certain direction, and then they calculate the time element from that atom there. So it's a very, very detailed scientific analogy of time. Just in the purport here in text 6, it said if calculated if a second is divided into 1,687.5 parts, each part's the duration of a truti. So this is just to help our understanding of the vastness of this Vedic cosmology and the brilliance of Krishna's creation, that everything is so much accounted for, that the scientists who are taking credit for their advancement are already second place to what is already happening. And there's more about that because they're actually on a different path to the Vedic cosmological side. So I'll just keep reading till I get to the next verse. Text 8 is 15 lagus make 1 nadika, which is called a danda. 2 dandas make 1 muhurta. So now we're becoming familiar. Muhurta is, we're supposed to get up the Brahma Murta hour, which is 48 minutes before sunrise. Is it? Is that correct? Yep. And 6 or 7 dandas make 1/4 of a day or night. There's no purport to this. So I was wondering how, maybe this is not precise. Why does it say 6 or 7? But then, anybody got an explanation for this? Huh? Sorry?
Yeah, what was the question?
Why it says 6 or 7 dundas make 1/4 of a day and night. Why is it specifically, well, not specific, why they say 6 or 7?
Well, it's like Yojana sometimes perceived as being 7 kilometres, sometimes 8 kilometres.
Oh yeah, well that's one reason, but what I was thinking of was that, like, winter the day is shorter and some of the day is longer, so there's allowance for that, according to human calculation. Now this one's a good one. Text number 9. The measuring pot for 1 nadika or danda can be prepared with a 6 pala weight, 14-ounce pot of copper, in which a hole is bored with a gold probe weighing 4 masa and measuring 4 fingers long. When the pot is placed on water, the time before the water overflows in the pot is called 1 danda. So Prabhupada in the purport is saying here, it is advised herein that the bore in the copper measuring pot must be made with a probe weighing not more than 4 masas and measuring not longer than 4 fingers. This regulates the diameter of the hole. The pot is submerged in water and the overflooding time is called a danda. This is another way of measuring the duration of a danda, just as time is measured by sand in a glass. It appears that in the days of Vedic civilization, there was no dearth of knowledge in physics, chemistry, or higher mathematics. Measurements were calculated different ways, as simply as could be done. Om Agyinati Mirandasya Jananjana Lakaya Chaksur Militam Yena Tasmei Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Agyana Om Durgame Parimendasya Skalatpate Katimhu Swakripa Yustadanina Shantu Shantu Alambanam. I can't unlock my computer. So what we have here is 2 different sequences. Actually, we have modern science, and we know in Western technology that we have a definition of time as seconds, 60-second sequence, 1 minute, and so forth and so on. And then we have the atoms, and it's described here that the atoms are comprised of so many atoms are comprised of earth, air, fire, water, and ether, and thus we have the elements. But Vedic understanding is a little bit different from scientific understanding, from what they understand earth, water, fire, and air to be. So, like in modern terms, our body is made up of earth, water, fire, and air. We always say that, and ether. But it's not the complete understanding. That's not the complete understanding of what Vedic science is all about. So here we have the paramanu. That's called the atom. So the atom in modern science is not what is considered to be in Vedic science. Vedic science is more refined, just like what we can see here, what we've just read, that the concept here is very much refined. And where the modern science, like atom, if you think about it, it's only like the concept of the atom is only a couple of 100 years old, really, isn't it? It only started in the 1800s. Darwin didn't know about the atom. Otherwise, this whole theory would be thrown out the window before it even started. So the atom, their understanding of that is just simply dealing with gross substances like earth, solid, liquid, and gas. Right? So what they're seeing, what the Western scientists are seeing, is just a breakdown of these different things. But according to Vedic cosmology or Vedic science, actually it's just the concept of Earth. This is quite interesting. So just like we take, for instance, if we take Earth, water. So what is water? Water is a combination of hydrogen and oxygen. So let's take oxygen. So we have oxygen, which we breathe in, okay? We know that in the gaseous form, but then you freeze oxygen, what do you get? You get a liquid, which is just another stronger form of the earth element. And if you freeze it hard enough, which I don't think they can, you get solid oxygen. Same with hydrogen, you get a liquid hydrogen, and then if you are able to do it scientifically, you get earth form of solid form of hydrogen. Best example is water itself. Just like below 100 degrees, above 100 degrees you've got steam, centigrade. Between 0 and 100 you've got water, and below 0 you've got solid, right? But they're all different forms of earth, really. So you've got the solid, you've got the liquid, and you've got the vapor. So according to Vedic science, there's just different forms of earth. Hare Krishna. Just like we take the example of air, for instance, the Vedic concept doesn't line up with our definition of air, which, as I said, is just a matter of elements like nitrogen and oxygen and so forth. But the Vedic concept of air is there's 5 different airs. There's prana, apana, samana, vana, and udana. And these ones, modern science has no knowledge about them whatsoever. So our Vedic understanding is that, like, respiratory system is when we breathe in air, what are we doing? We're breathing in prana. So that's the first one, right? And then the apana, that's the air for evacuation. We need that air for urination, evacuation, so on and so forth. That's the apana vayu. And then the nervous system, that's the samaya vayu. That runs all the motions within the body. And then similarly we have the udana and the other dana. So there's 5 different earthly, 5 different airs. So that's modern science's, they haven't even broached that concept. So, and then we can talk about water. So we have the basic elements. Earth, we know what earth is. It's just earth is earth. It's a whole combination of elements. So according to Western science, water is H2O. It's just simply water. But there is different types of watery substances, just like we have salt water, right? We have water, we have salt water, we have liquor, we have sugar cane, we have ghee. See where I'm getting at? The 5 oceans around the Earth planet, all covered by different liquids. Milk, yeah, so they're all different forms of water. So therefore we can see that this science is very, very intricate, and that what modern science has discovered is their own speculation, really, but they have not understood what is behind the whole structure of the universe. They don't understand the basis of what makes up the universe. They are looking for the God Adam, but that is not going to happen. There is another actually form of water too, which is mind-blowing. It's gold. So in the lower planetary systems, there are oceans of gold, which is gold is a flowing substance. So we have to take this wisdom seriously because it comes from the Srimad Bhagavatam and it is delivered to us by the Creator, Lord Brahma. So this wonderful philosophy is being given to us, and it's been there in Bharat. Just I was going to say in the beginning, if one goes to Delhi and you go near the fort, you'll see all these amazing astronomical instruments. Have you seen them? There's pictures of them. They're sort of these arches going up into the sky to measure the stars and all these other geometric instruments, huge, there to help with the maths. But they've really been neglected actually because India, under the influence of the British, has rejected all this philosophy as just to be a myth. So that study is neglected. So what people are studying, what are people studying now? How to make money. So purpose of study is just simply to pass a test. So even if there is courses in um, PhD courses in Sanskrit and in different sciences, archaeology and study of the atom, whatever. The purpose of all that is to actually get a degree. And to get your degree, you have to stick within the guidelines, just like there's that famous book on archaeology, there, The Forbidden Archaeology by Richard Cremo. It says that if something is outside the parameters of discovery, it's discarded and you can't use that as your theory for your basis for your doctorate, or you won't pass. So basically, this knowledge is being discarded and it's lying there. But as we know, Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam propounds the highest truth, and Srila Prabhupada has revived this. So there's always something in the Srimad Bhagavatam that, even though it can be very, very difficult to understand, still by trying to unravel it through taking shelter of senior devotees and commentaries by great sages such as Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and so on, we can understand more and more, unravel the truth, so to speak. So this is Srila Prabhupada has given this beautiful message to us, and the more we read the Srimad Bhagavatam, then the more it is revealed to us. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So that's all I have to say about that. I'll finish at text number 9, but let's go, keep on going. So today is a very, very auspicious day. It is the day marking the creation of Radha Kund. So most of us devotees who've been devotees for a while relish the thought of going to Radha Kund and Shyama Kund. That is probably the desire of everyone, want to go to Vrindavan. And Radha Kund is the most sacred place in the whole universe. So how did it come about? So I think everybody knows the story, but it's always different ways of putting a story together, because it starts with the Aristasura demon. So what shape did the Aristasura demon take? It took the form of the bull. Of course, Aristasura, he was a mystic yogi who could take any demoniac shape he liked, and he was in the stable of Kamsa, who resolved to kill Vishnu because he knew that Vishnu was going to kill him. Of course, this Vishnu was Krishna. So previous to Krishna's birth, he had travelled the whole earth and got the worst demons possible, the most heinous, horrible demons, and he kept them all in Mathura. And of course, the poor citizens of Mathura had to live with these demons, and they were very much harassed by these. But as Kamsa was sending these demons along, they were being depleted because Krishna would annihilate them. But the demons were very smart. They would come in so many different forms. Just like I said, that Aghasura, he came as a huge serpent, but he came like a playground for the kids. Oh, look, for the cowboy boys. Oh, look, there's a huge playground here. Let's go inside. Or Katana wished she'd come as a nurse and a mother, so she could suckle Krishna's breath. So the demons were very, very clever. So Aristasura came as a bull, but actually he barged in. He didn't actually come subtly. Some demons came subtly, like was it Parayama came as a cowherd boy, and what's the name of that demon?
Pralambasur.
Pralambasur. He came as a cowherd boy. Of course, Krishna pegged him, and Balaram pegged him, and then he tried to run away with Balaram on his shoulders, and Balaram dispatched him. So this Aristasura, he didn't really make any disguise about who he was. It was described that he was this gigantic bull that challenged the clouds, and when he whisked his tail, the clouds would scatter. His eyes were fiery red, and then when he snorted, it created a whole gust of wind that the trees would shake, and the asses brayed and passed stool and so on and so forth. He was fearsome, and his hooves, as soon as he pounded the ground, there'd be a big, deep hole in the ground, and he had these sharp horns, and he pointed his horns at Krishna and he charged. Right, so Krishna's in the process. It was said that he was getting ready to perform a rasa dance just a little bit later on with the gopis. Of course, the rasa dance is the most beautiful act of love that could be performed by the greatest devotees in the whole universe, and that rasa dance lasts practically eternity, a whole day of Lord Brahma. Another concept of time which we cannot understand. So anyway, this bull charges Krishna, this ferocious bull, huge as a mountain, horns pointed at Krishna. And so when he got to Krishna, Krishna flipped him. It's like he got his horns and he just flipped him. Right? And there he goes whirling over, lands on the ground. He charges Krishna again, and this time, what bulls do, they try to kick you with their hooves, right? So as soon as he tried to kick Krishna with his hoofs, Krishna grabbed his hoofs, whirled him around, and his life airs disappeared from his body. So that was the end of Ristasura. But then when Krishna wanted to have some pastimes with the gopis, Radharani said to him, well, you've just killed a bull, and you're contaminated now. You're supposed to be the protector of cows, and you've just killed a bull. Right, so therefore you're contaminated. We can't play with you anymore. He said, what are you talking about? This bull, he wasn't a bull, he was a great big demon. No, it still is in the form of the bull. Of course, this has just enhanced the pastimes, not like they really thought that Krishna was become demoniac now because he killed this demon. But they were just having this pastime here, so they were thinking, said, now Krishna, if you actually want to become purified, you have to go to all the holy places in the universe, and then once you visit them, then you can become purified. So Krishna, he scratched his chin. I'm making this up. So he got his heel. Actually, what I wanted to say previously is when actually the way Krishna dispatched that bull was rather amazing. He didn't grab him by the hooves, he kicked him. And it is said that Krishna's feet are so soft, they're red. So when Mother Yasoda caresses the soles of the feet, they're sort of pink. And if you press his feet, they turn red. They're so soft, right? And the gopis were afraid that even if Krishna's feet touched the softest part of their skin, they would still, their skin would be so rough that Krishna's feet would be hurt. And what to speak of Mother Yasoda was in total fear all day, and about Krishna going into the forest barefoot. Remember that story where she said, oh, Krishna, you have to wear sandals? And Krishna said, well, if I have to wear sandals, then all the cows have to wear sandals too, and there's 900,000 cows, right? So he loved going barefoot, and he had all these beautiful signs on his feet so you could see where Krishna's footprints were. And then Lord Balaram, he would know where Krishna went with the gopis and he'd give him space. And anyway, Mother Yasoda was so afraid that a prickle would land in Krishna's foot, or he'd trip on the stone or something like that and hurt his feet. They were so soft. And yet when the bull come charging, Krishna got his feet, kicked the bull as hard as he could, and the bull went flying out and lost his life. That's Krishna's wonderful Krishna. So then he got the heel of his foot and he dug a deep recession in the ground and he summoned all the holy places of the universe to come and fill this hole in the ground, which they did. So all the waters of the universe, all the great rivers, Ganga, the Nirmada, the Yamuna, and so on and so forth, they all fill this beautiful lake. And Krishna said, and Krishna bathed in it, and he invited the gopis to come and bathe in this lake. This is the most sacred lake. But the gopis said, oh, no, it's still got something to do with you, you know, it's still contaminated. You know what? We're going to make our own lake, right? So then they found a big hoof print where Aristasura was, like, you know, giant hooves. So it was quite a substantial hole. So Radharani got the bangles and the gopis got the bangles and they started digging the hole. And Krishna said, I'll fill it with my water. He was trying to help out. They said, no, we don't want anything to do with you. So they formed a big queue. There was like hundreds and thousands of gopis. And they formed a big line going to Manasi Ganga. And then they were getting buckets of water and filling in the lake with these buckets of water. But then Krishna begged Radharani, he said to her, please take all the holy places and get the water from all the holy places and fill your lake with it. And he asked the personification of all the holy places to ask Radharani if they could do that. So the personification of all the places in the universe came before Radharani, praised Radharani as being the embodiment of Krishna's pleasure potency and begged if they could actually fill the lake. And Radharani saw that Krishna was smiling, and of course she wanted to please Krishna ultimately, so she said yes. So Shyama Kund overflowed into Radha Kund and they became one. So then Krishna, the gopis, they swam in Radha Kund and they swam in Shyama Kund. And Krishna said to Radha, because this is the embodiment of your bliss, this Radha Kund, this is the most sacred place in this whole universe. So therefore, this is described also in the Upadiksham by Rupa Goswami, that Radha Kund is the most sacred place, and anybody who bathes in it, these days the devotees are very, very reserved, and they put a few drops of water on their head, and that's the same as bathing in it, and you get the mercy and you get the love of Radharani. So this is one of the destinations, ultimate destinations, devoted to go and get the mercy of Radharani and Radha Kund. Of course, just throughout the years after Krishna left, Radha Kund and Shyama Kund started to disappear along with all the other different places where Krishna used to perform his pastimes, and it became overgrown. So when Lord Chaitanya went to Vrindavan in the 1500s, early 1500s, the whole place was pretty much overgrown. He restored some places and he charged the Goswamis with restoring other places. And he was looking for Radha Kund and Shyama Kund. And then they were very hard to find. Then he saw a paddy field with two little ponds in it. They were just very, very little ponds. And then he bathed them and he was in complete ecstasy. And he declared that this is Shyama Kund and Radha Kund. And then, of course, the Goswamis began to excavate that. There's also the story about Radha Kund where it's a very milky substance flows out from the bottom. Does anyone know that story? Is that correct? So sometimes, once every so often, they clean out Radha Kund, and when they drained it, they found at the bottom that this milky substance was coming out. So that's It's from the ocean of nectar there. So it's a very nectarian place to be, and by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it's become available to us. So this is all I have to say. All I have to say is anybody want to make a comment about any part of the lecture? Question?
Has anyone got radical water that we could get a drop of?
Sorry? What was that?
I asked if anyone has some radical water we could have a drop on their heads.
That used to be the norm. Everybody used to have some at one stage. I don't know what's happened now.
I have some at home.
You have some at home. Well,
Snuck it
You
fantastic.
can for all of us.
in. Yeah.
A drop for every one of us.
Try and bring it to
It's spiritualized. It works. Any other questions or comments? So, yeah, thank you, Jai. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.